Hey, everybody. I'm back again. Imagine that. I just got through listening to another fascinating talk by Dr. Shiva about how we got two brains, one in our head and one in our gut, and they're attached by the vagus nerve, and how important your gut health is to your brain health. Well, how about where does your gut health start, Dr. Shiva? Does it start in your mouth? Does it? Could it possibly be? Hmm. See, I put a couple of comments in the live chat there for Dr. Shiva. I'm trying to get his attention. And I did. Wow. I did. I'm going to play a real short little clip here. Holy fright, I left my speaker over there. I'm going to go get it. I'm going to be right back and take me about 2 seconds. 1,000, 1,000, 1,000. I'm back. That was about 2 seconds. All right. Let's see. We'll just set this up here close by the microphone. And we'll just listen to Dr. Shiva here for a minute or two, maybe 3 or 4. You ready? All right. Here he is, Mr. Systems Guy.
They're interconnected. So we're going to talk about gut and brain health. At the brain level, we got to really protect the blood-brain barrier. At the gut level, we have to protect the microbiome and then the connection between both of them. Now we're getting a whole systems approach to understanding brain and gut health, okay? So we cannot separate these two. Someone said, how do cannabis rejuvenate gum tissue? So just want to let you know, we have another open science project on periodontal disease. We're about to be publishing a very major article on periodontal disease, and we can definitely look at, but when we say cannabis, you have to be clear, what do you mean by cannabis? The high THC stuff, the CBDs, we have to be careful on that, okay? So again, before I leave, all of you can support the Cytosolve.
Okay. You see what? You see that? Someone says, he knows dang well that's me. He can't say citizen scientist with the Oral Health Project says. He can't say Ethan Dean says. And he stammers a little bit there, doesn't he? And he talks about how you got to be careful. You're talking about CBD. You're talking about the high THC stuff. You're damn right I am. And you're right, you got to be careful because CBD ain't going to do nothing for you for your oral health. In fact, CBD overused causes wasting disease. It does. I know the researcher in charge of the research project for wasting disease caused by overuse of CBD. So you're right, Dr. Shiva. You got to be careful. And no, I'm not talking about CBD. I'm talking about high-level THC. You see, it's the THC that removes and prevents plaques and calcified plaques on your teeth and gums. It is degraded THC, which is CBN, that rejuvenates your gum tissue. Now, several years ago, there was 160 known cannabinoids, and it was estimated there's another 200 yet to be discovered. Fact. Now, I put several comments in that live chat, and I could tell he got a little, it seemed to me he got a little bit rocked when he saw my first message come in the live chat, which is not in replay. And I don't have live chat in most of my replays either. But I do wish I'd have taken some screenshots of that, Because I asked Dr. Shiva, why are you suppressing optimal oral health with cannabis? And then a big red thing came up across my name, and it said, nobody's suppressing anything. I don't know who that was, if that was one of his admins or who that was. But Dr. Shiva, you know I'm not someone. You know I'm Ethan Dean. And why do we have to be so careful, Dr. Shiva? Huh? How come you don't want to talk about this with me, Dr. Shiva? You're darn right we got to be careful, because this government is filled with oppression. The science that you like to rely on, the peer review, is absolutely polluted, Dr. Shiva. I'm still waiting for you to call me back, Dr. Shiva. How come you didn't say, hey, Ethan, that's something we can talk about? Because he don't want to talk with me. He doesn't want this truth to come out. He's going to ignore it unless he's pressured into it. So people, put the comments in Dr. Shiva's videos and force this man, this truth freedom fighter, Mr. Systems Man with a bottom-up approach. Let him know that Ethan Dean has been crushed to the bottom repeatedly by government and fake science and lack of masculinity, lack of honor, lack of integrity, fear, because no one will report on this the world over. No one, as of yet. I'm looking for that first man that is recognized as an authority. It would be nice if he was respected too. Male or female. One person of authority that has audience. Please, people, find Dr. Shiva's phone number, send him text messages. Find Dr. Shiva's phone number and call him. Find Dr. Shiva's website, send him an email. Find his YouTube videos on cannabis and or gut brain health, because my gut's telling my brain that Dr. Shiva is very resistant to optimal oral health with cannabis. And we got to be very careful. Are we talking about the high THC stuff or CBD? Dr. Shiva, we're talking about full cannabis extractions, very, very carefully prepared formulations that include high levels of THC, high levels of degraded THC, which is CBN. And I want to talk about it with you. How come you won't talk about it with me? When are you going to call me back, Dr. Shiva? You're going to call me right back. I don't think so. But you might call me. You get enough pressure. The people, put some pressure on Dr. Shiva. He's bringing it forward. Truth Freedom Fighter has several videos on cannabis. Of course, he wants you to pay him to get his class. Yeah, I bring it all to you for free. I do. He don't want free advice from an expert, from the world's leading authority on optimal oral health with cannabis, from high THC content. I think Dr. Shiva's got a bad attitude about THC. I don't think Dr. Shiva has a clue that once your endocannabinoid system is nourished, that you cannot get high from marijuana. He's a systems man. He's a bottom-up man. He's a health, freedom fighter, fighting me over optimal oral health with cannabis by refusing to communicate with me. So put some pressure on this man, would you, folks? Please. Good evening, Josh Eddy. Hello, Gloria. Thanks for popping in. What do you two think? What do you two think about Dr. Shiva? Did you listen to that? I'll back it up again. I'll play it again. Maybe you missed it. Let's see. How far back? I'll go back 30 seconds, maybe 40 seconds. Let's try it.
A whole systems approach to understanding brain and gut health. Okay, so we cannot separate these two. Someone said, how do cannabis rejuvenate gum tissue? So just want to let you know, we have another open science project on periodontal disease. We're about to be publishing a very major article on periodontal disease, and we can definitely look at, but when we say cannabis, you have to be clear, what do you mean by cannabis? The high THC stuff, the CBDs, we have to be careful on that, okay?
Did you hear how he stumbled over his words? Did it appear to you that he's a little nervous? Does it seem like maybe he's a bit shaken? So, thank you for leaving a comment on Dr. Shiva's post last night to please have me on his show. We'll see if that happens. He is part of the deceiving the people. He's a fool. Yes. Deliberately has confusion. Dr. Shiva, Mr. Systems Guy, wants to tell you about toxicity to the brain. Wants to talk to you about your gut health. But he don't want to talk to you about where does your gut health start. It starts with your mouth, I believe. How's it going to get to your gut if it don't go through your mouth? Maybe Dr. Shiva's got some new kind of science he's going to tell us about. Some new way of getting that gut health. What about all these toxic medicines that aren't medicines? What about these so-called doctors, Dr. Shiva? What about these so-called doctors that practice medicine? Are they poison control experts or are they healers? I think they're poison control experts is what I think. Yeah, because these pharmaceutical drugs, you got to be so careful. So careful. And you got to be careful with marijuana too, because government will want to throw your ass in prison. Or they'll want to destroy your life if you come up with an amazing discovery from the bottom up. And they want to destroy your life. So yeah, we got to be really careful, Dr. Shiva. We got to be really careful. All right, everybody. I think Dr. Shiva is the gift that's just going to keep on giving. And maybe one day, Dr. Shiva is going to actually have a conversation with a cannabis expert. With the man who has held the title as the world's leading authority on optimal oral health for 8 years. With optimal oral health with cannabis, the world's leading authority on optimal oral health with cannabis. It might happen. So please, enjoy listening to Dr. Shiva. Because he's a systems guy. He's going to tell you about the systems. He's a truth, freedom, health fighter. Fighting the message of optimal oral health, because Is it CBD or high THC? High THC. Dr. Shiva, when your endocannabinoid system is nourished, you cannot get high from high THC. You can prevent the calcified plaques from building up on your teeth, which toxify your body with tooth decay, dead teeth, that affects your microbiome very seriously. And all those antibiotics people got to take for their poor oral health destroys their microbiome. So put that in your pipe and smoke it, Dr. Shiva. Gloria, Josh, thanks for being here. Much love. I'll be back. I know I will, because Dr. Shiva's the gift that just keeps on giving. Own your authority, people. Get smart. Listen to your gut and your brain. We'll figure it out.